I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me start by thanking SRSG and head of UNMIK for an informative briefing. I also welcome the presence of the ministers from Serbia and Kosovo, as well as the participation of the head of the delegation of the European Union at today's meeting. Mr. President, Greece commends the commitment of UNMIK and personally SRSG Mrs. Ziadeh to promoting security, stability and respect for the rule of law and protection of human rights in Kosovo. The presence of UN signals a long-lasting engagement to the well-being, peaceful coexistence and reconciliation of all communities. The UNMIK mandate, in accordance with Security Council Resolution 1244 of 1999, is interlinked with the normalization of relations between Serbia and Kosovo and a final political settlement. Greece supports the continuation of its mandate as necessary. UNMIK coordination with KFOR and ULEX in Kosovo is vital for achieving long-lasting solutions and embedding peace and stability in the region. Mr. President, there is now an absolute need to move forward with the normalization process of bilateral relations between Serbia and Kosovo. Both sides must remain fully engaged with the EU-facilitated dialogue and must work ardently for the full implementation of the Brussels-Ohrid agreements. It is of paramount importance that both parties demonstrate the willingness to achieve progress in the dialogue and exercise utmost restraint in avoiding actions which trigger tensions and aggravate the situation on the ground. The renewed European Union integration prospects of the Western Balkans, and Serbia and Kosovo in particular, remains the main anchor of stability and prosperity for both sides and the region as a whole. We welcome the appointment of Mr. Peter Sorensen as EU Special Representative for the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue, and we express a strong support to his tasks in this regard. We also welcome the compromise reached by Serbia and Kosovo on the terms of reference for the Joint Commission of Missing Persons last December as a positive development towards reconciliation and mutual trust, and encourage further progress in this respect. Mr. President, although we recognize that both sides have undertaken positive steps towards the direction of the normalization of bilateral relations, we cannot ignore that divisive rhetoric is dominant in public speech, undermining the progress which has been achieved throughout the years. Greece deplores the increase of unilateral actions taken in northern Kosovo. The situation remains volatile, and we are deeply concerned about uncoordinated actions which endanger regional stability. At the same time, the status of Serbian and parallel structure must be resolved within the framework of the EU-facilitated dialogue through the establishment of the Association Community of Serb-majority municipalities. The rights of the Kosovo Serbs must be fully respected, including the rights to active participation in local governments, policing and judiciary. We further call for the return of Kosovo Serbs police officers, judges and prosecutors to the institutions of Kosovo. We strongly condemn the Banjka attack of 2023, as well as the attack of the Ibar-Lepenac water canal of last November. The perpetrators of these violent acts must be brought to justice in a transparent manner and in full respect of the rule of law principle. Furthermore, unproportionate deployment of Kosovo police forces in northern Kosovo as a response to peaceful process is deeply alarming. We repeat our call for restraint and unconditional respect for human rights and freedoms of all communities in Kosovo. Mr. President, trust and reconciliation remain at the core of the process for the normalization of relations between Serbia and Kosovo. The role of women and youth in this process is essential for building the necessary bonds between communities, inclusive initiatives, as well as projects for combating violence of all forms against women, remains a central part of the reconciliation path. Moreover, efforts must be accelerated in advancing the return of refugees and displaced persons in a secure environment. Property rights must also be fully protected. In closing, Mr. President, let me reiterate that Greece remains a staunch supporter of the EU perspective of the Western Balkans, our immediate neighborhood. Since the Thessaloniki Declaration of the EU-Western Balkans Summit of 2003, the key principles and foundation of the European integration process remain unchanged and provides a shared, future-oriented European vision based on the values of democracy, rule of law, respect of human and minority rights, solidarity and respect for international law, including the violability of borders. Dialogue and peaceful resolution of conflicts is the only way forward for safeguarding stability and prosperity for the entire Western Balkan regions. I thank you.
I thank the representative.